Okay, today's bell ringer, we want to find the domain and range of the function in interval notation. And we talked about this yesterday, and if you were not in class yesterday, you need to get someone's notes, but we'll do the same thing today. So we'll get some practice with this. So let's find the domain, which is every possible x value in a function, and the range, which is every possible y value in the function. Alright, so finding the domain, we're looking from left to right. We're looking at the x values. So we're looking horizontally. Let me get my pen to work. There we go. Along the x-axis, we'll go from left to right, or negative to positive. And so if you'll notice this arrow right here, that is going to keep going all the way to the left. It's going to go to negative infinity. So if we're coming from the left, we're actually starting at negative infinity. And if we keep going to the right, we will eventually stop at an x value. And it stops right here. This x value is 6. This is the coordinate 6, negative 4, but the x value is 6, and 6 is included. This is a colored in circle. So we'll do negative infinity, comma, 6, and we'll put a bracket if it's included. Okay, and then the range, we're going to go on the y-axis, we're going from negative to positive. We're coming from the bottom and going up. So from negative to positive, the first value we get to, or we start with, is negative 4. And negative 4 is included, so bracket. And then this thing is going to keep going up. It's not going to stop. So we're going to positive infinity. And that is your domain and range and interval notation of this function. Okay, let's look at this example. This is a piecewise function. There's 3 different functions on this one graph. And we need to describe the domain and the range of the piecewise functions. Okay, so let's start with the domain. We're going left to right. And so the first value I come to on the x-axis is negative 4. And if you'll notice at negative 4, there's a hole there. It's not colored in. So we'll say negative 4 with a parentheses, because negative 4 is not included, but that's where we start. And then we go to the x value of 0, and 0 is included because it's colored in, so bracket. Alright, then we're going to pick back up. This is the union symbol, or the OR symbol. We'll pick back up at 1, it is included, and we'll stop at 5, it is included, and then we'll pick back up at 7, it's not included, and we will go all the way to infinity. There's your domain of the piecewise function. Alright, now let's do the range. Range, we're going from the bottom to the top. Okay, so if you'll notice that function on the far right, it's got an arrow going all the way down. And so we're going to start at negative infinity. And we will come up to the y value of negative 3. And it's not included because there's a hole there. Then we're going to pick back up, and if you'll notice that middle function, it only has one y value in it, and it's the y value of negative 1, so all we got to put is brackets negative 1, and then we'll pick back up at the y value of 0, there's a hole there, and we're going to stop at 2, and it's included, so we'll have a bracket. Okay, there's your domain and range of this piecewise function. Let's look at some other ones. Alright, here's another example of a piecewise function. Let's find the domain. The domain, we're looking left to right, and we're trying to figure out what are all the possible x values that can be in any three of these functions. We have to list them. Okay, so starting from left to right, that function on the far left, we're going to be coming from negative infinity, and we're going to stop at -5, and -5 is included. Then we're going to pick back up at -2. -2, there's a hole there, so parentheses. And it looks like we would stop at 0, but we actually don't stop, because if you'll look at that bottom function, it just keeps going from 0. And so we'll go from -2 to positive infinity. There's my domain. Okay, the range, if you look at this bottom function, we're coming from the bottom and going up. This bottom function pretty much trumps all the other ones because it starts at -4, so -4 is included, and it goes all the way to positive infinity. So it doesn't really matter what those other functions are doing; they're also included in this range. So -4 to positive infinity would be my range, and that includes all possible y values that could be in all three of these functions. Okay, here's an example for you to try. I want you to give me the domain and the range in interval notation. This graph has 2 holes in it, and so you try this one, and I'll give you one more to try. Here's the last one for you to try. Find the domain and range of this piecewise function. Make sure you put these examples in your notes.